Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, as you can see on the screen here, we're going to be exploring Vegapunk. Okay, we got a fun one lined up for today. So without any further ado guys, hey, my voice is starting to get back slowly but surely. I'm starting to feel better and better, so you guys bear with me. My voice is still a little bit off, but we're getting there. We're getting back to normal. Now, without any further ado, let's hop straight into this video. We got a lot to talk about. First up, we're going to head over to the lab. We have a game of Vega versus Marco. That should be pretty interesting. Then we're going to go over and discuss the topic of the day, which is going to be talking about color identity. That should also be very interesting. Then we're going to head over to the sim. I've got 5 games of Vegapunk lined up for us. And then we will wrap everything up with the deck list, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on it and all that good stuff. Alright, so you know what you're getting into, guys. Let's dive straight into this. And before we get into it, I have to say, yesterday's video was awesome. It was received very well, talking about a new format. If you missed out on yesterday's video, I will link it in the comment section below. I talk about a new 3-color format. It was received very well. I will have more videos on that in the future. Okay, I've got some gameplay to go over and everything, so we are definitely going to be going over that, but not until a future video. Okay, all right. Now let's get into this video. I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links down in the comment section below. Okay, let's do this, guys. So first things first, let's move this out of the way. There we go. Okay, so the VV Lab, for any new listeners out there, first of all, don't worry, I don't always sound like this. I'm dealing with some post-nasal drips, some sinuses and allergies. But what you might be asking yourself, what is the VV Lab? Well, essentially, it is a community-submitted game that I review on, for the video, and it's a live reaction. I don't pre-watch these, and I basically give my analysis of the game, and we talk about some plays, whether they're suboptimal or maybe they could have been a little more optimal, and we kind of just break it down, and it works as like a free coaching session. Okay, so if you're interested in me reviewing one of your games, it's very easy to set up. All you have to do is a 3-step process. Record your game, upload it to YouTube, and then hop on the VV Theory Discord. The link is in the channel description. On the VV Theory Discord, I have a channel called Review My Game. I think it's under the VV Corner tab. Like, click on the VV Corner tab, and there should be an option there to review my game. Okay? You post the link in there. As soon as I see it, I give you the thumbs up, and you get thrown in line. And when it's your turn, it's your turn. Very easy to set up. Okay, guys? And notice, like, all the names are blacked out. You can't see anything. I make a custom overlay for each one of these if I have to. So yeah, if you're interested, if you need any help setting it up, just say something in the comment section or ask on Discord. Okay, that's the easiest way to get a hold of me or someone who knows what they're doing. Now, let's hop into this game. We have the game of Vegapunk versus Marco. Okay, volume is off. Speed is on 2x. Quality is as high as it'll go. Let's do this, guys. You guys are getting a full Vegapunk overload today because it's going to be the sim game here of Vegapunk, and I'm playing 5 games of Vegapunk. It's going to be all in on Vegapunk today. Okay. So turn 1, let's see what the Vegapunk does. Oh, real quick, let me see something. So the Vegapunk won the dice roll and chose to go second. Okay. And let's see what they choose to do for turn 1. Excuse me. Okay, playing out the Edison to draw 2 trash 2. Setting up cards in the trash for the event, potentially. So let me pause right there. You're going to see a very big difference between my play style and this individual's here. And it's not to say mine's better. It's not to say theirs is worse. There's just a difference. In that situation, I would have played out the 5-cost Luffy. I would have just dropped him. He is a 6,000 power leader. So even if they have a Sequake and leader effect, they can't take him out this turn. Or he's a 6,000 power character, not leader. I think I said leader, I meant character. So I would play him out, and now I'm threatening anything he puts on the board, and I still have Nami for anything bigger that he can't deal with. So I like the Edison, but he is a 2K counter, and I would rather actually play out the Luffy in that situation and set up for next turn. But that's just me. That's not to say there was a play mistake. Let me bust out the accuracy meter. That's not to say it was like a play mistake or something like that. That was just a difference in play style. Okay, now let's see what happens next. Excuse me. So we're on turn 2 now. 3 on turn for the Marco. They're going to reduce the power, play out a Bello Betty. Play out a Bello Betty. Wait a minute, what? So we got a red-blue Marco Revo Army version going on here. They attack in, pause. Now, if you are playing against Vegapunk, let me tell you something right now. Attacking into their life is dangerous. That's putting it mildly. And this looks like it's the more aggressive version, which is the same version I'll be playing today. Maybe not the exact same version. I'll show the list when we get to it. I'm playing a very aggressive version of Vegapunk. And if you attack into life, there's like a 90% chance that thing's coming into play. So you have to be so careful. I personally would not attack into Vegapunk early if I can play around it. Okay, so we're going to set Atlas to life. This person plays so much more passively than me. You'll see a big difference in my games. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's a playstyle difference. Okay, swinging 7 into 5. This should go through. Then we can swing 4. I would swing 6 into 5. I would keep 1 up for the Please Save Me. I would keep 1 up for the, I think the technical name is Quasar Help. So they're going to minus 2,000. Looks like they're going to swing 6 into 4. Or maybe 7 into 4. Or 7 into 3, excuse me. Yep, 7 into 3. Okay, so it didn't matter either way. So that was good. That was really good using that to get out of that. Or to swing for 7 was the right call after all. Okay, let's see what happens next. We're on a 6 Dawn turn for Vegapunk. I'm going to play out the Nami. I would play out the Nami here. Okay. I'm going to play out the Pythagoras, then the Nami, so we can... Oh, excuse me. Yes, that was 100% correct, so that we can get the Nami's effect. Excuse me. So real quick, guys, for those who are not aware, perfect. Look at this. Pause and read what Nami does real quick. On play, you may trash a card with a trigger from your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Then if your hand has 3 or less cards in it, draw a card. That is massive. So notice we have 6 cards in hand. This was done very well. Watch this. We have 6 cards in hand. So if we play out Nami now and trash a card, we'll still have 4 cards in hand. However, if we play out a card first, then play out the Nami, trashing a card from the effect, that is 3. We'll have 3 cards left, and we will draw. It counts the number of cards in your hand after you trash from Nami's effect. Excellent. Excellent sequencing there. Very well played. What does that York do? I don't think I'm even running York. Let me see something, guys. Okay. York, it says, on play, you may add the top or bottom card of your life to your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's cost 2 or lower characters. You know, that's not bad, actually, playing that out very early. But I don't like adding the top or bottom card of your life to your hand. I'm not a huge fan. But I guess you could choose not to, and it's just a 5 cost 6k body. Okay. So, now, back to the game. So, they're going to play out the Pythagoras. They're going to play out the body. They cheat out the Pythagoras, play out the Nami, trashing a card, KOing the Emperor Ivankov, the correct target. Swing for 5, your turn. Okie dokie, let's see what they do next. They're going to play out Curly to Dan. Or no, excuse me, they're using their leader effect. Excuse me, they played out Curly to Dan last turn. Okay, very interesting deck here. How they're trying to use a bunch of 2-cost characters to generate value with the Emporio Ivankov. Yeah, very interesting. I don't think this is the same as the one that everyone's been playing, because I don't remember seeing the Revo Army and the Curly to Dan stuff, but we'll have to see. Tell me what you guys think about this Marco deck. Very interesting design. Okay, they're going to load up for 7, swing 7 into 4, and now, so one thing to take into consideration, this is why I do not add life to my deck. I do not add life to, excuse me, I do not use my leader effect to add life, because it keeps my Atlas alive for longer. Atlas says if you have less life than your opponent, not equal to or less life than your opponent, then he cannot be KO'd in battle. So, again, I understand wanting to be safe at 2 life, but 1 life for me is safe until later in the game, typically speaking. I would take that, absolutely. It would be nice if we could get rid of this Emporio Ivankov. Okay, so again, they're trying to gain life. Interesting. 6 into 3. I would have done 5 into 3 personally, but 6 into 3 is fine. Okay. Looks like we're going to be able to use this Pythagoras. Or, excuse me, I was going to say the York, but maybe not, because we already set our top life card. So swing 7, swing 6. Sequencing was a little off, but not a big deal. Yeah, that's fine. Typically, you want to go 6 and then 7. They're down to 1 life. They play out a Gordon, -3, hit him with a 4,000 brick fist. 8 into 6. I might have saved that. I might have saved that one. Let's see what happens here. They're going to drop by 2,000. Swing for 9 into 4. Very nice. We do get to play out an Edison. We'll take that. And here we go. Let's see what happens. Use the effect. Cheat out this guy. KO that guy. And I actually would have probably attacked into... so hear me out real quick. Pause. Not that, again, not that that was a play mistake. Whoops. What am I doing? So right here, I would have actually gone 6 into the Emporio Ivankov, and then 6 more into Emporio Ivankov. Then I would have done the play that you just did with the Luffy, because they'll probably let it go after the first try, or if not, then definitely the second. And even if they don't, you pop it with the Luffy. But if they do let it go, then you can pop to Dan, draw a card, and they only have a 1-cost 2K left on the board. So try to play really use your board to gain an advantage, because you're building up your board over the course of the game. Definitely use your board to gain advantage. You know, these cards on the board have additional value they can get. 7 into 5. They'll probably take the. If they take this, it's over, I would imagine. If they take this, I'd go all in. Wow. Okay. That is a scary, scary spot to be in there. They had to 1K, 1K, 1K to get out of a 7. We're going to take him down to 0 life. We have 2 life. 1 is a blocker. And we have a 2K, 2K, 3K in hand. Unlosable at this point. There's no way we could possibly lose. Impossible. Like, almost impossible. Almost literally impossible to lose at this point. Very good. We get the blocker. Sure. I would 2K. Okay, we'll use Atlas here. Now you can block. Yeah, block. Whoop, they jump. Sometimes people leave really quickly. Let me get back to that last frame there. So they were swinging 9 into 5. Just block with, and then use a probably double 2Ks and save the 3K for later. If it wouldn't matter though, because once you get out of this turn, they have no chance. The funny part is this right here. So watch this. So they swing for 6. Pause. We should have 2K countered out immediately, and then just let them keep going, because they can't go into the board. The game's over, right? Because if we untap with just York, we swing for 16 and the game's over. So right here, this is not a situation where we needed them to. We didn't need to bait them out because they had no Dawn left. We have no how do I say this? There is no doubt what could happen next, right? So there's no bait needed here. I would have just 2K countered out of the what's his name? Marco. And then right here, when they go to swing for 7, I would use the 1-cost 3K counter. Actually, it's just 5. I would 2K counter out, and then when they swing with Dragon, I'd take it and get shock on the field. Okay? Didn't matter either way. We had the game in the bag. Really good stuff. That was a really good submission. Excellent job. Now, give me a second to get set up, guys. We got to go over to the topic of the day. All right. So, topic of the day. Today we're going to be going over color identity and core design. I don't know really where to start. I will say this. I have done 3 videos on color and design and balance in this game. And we're going to kind of go over that real quick. I will link all of these in the comment section below. Okay, so if you have not seen these already, definitely check them out. And if you know any new players who are trying to get better at the game or trying to learn a little bit more about the game, or if you're trying to introduce someone to the game, these are great tools. They're intended for those people. So real quick, notice over here on the right, this one, One Piece TCG, choosing a color. Which color should I choose? And then One Piece TCG rant. Let's talk about color, balance, and design. And then the one right here, choosing a color. Which color should I choose? And this one is a updated version of my original. Which color should I choose? I will link all of those, all 3 of those, in the comment section below if you want to check those out. Or if you want to, like I said, if you know a new player who's trying to get better at the game, these were definitely meant for them. Even though I will say this one right here, the one right on the over on the right here, that one's more of a design theory craft style video. Okay. So first things first, I do want to go over color identity in the game per color. So I'm going to go through each one of these slides from my previous video, and then we'll elaborate on it and we'll talk about it from there. Okay. So red is the color that deals with power manipulation, buffs and debuffs, rush, and then moving Dawn around, like attaching rested Dawn to people and things like that. Not exactly purple like with Dawn ramp. It's more or less manipulating Dawn, like moving it around from one character to another, or rested onto a character or a leader, things like that. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go through all this, obviously. I'm just going to go through the main slides. Green has to deal with, it's what I call status or orientation manipulation, where you can stand you can stand characters or rest characters, okay? And then it does also have to do with like stun and locking characters down. And I think a lot of people would also consider green a very strong tempo color, because that was where we first saw like the film package of like 7-cost Luffy, 4-cost Brook, 3-cost Nami, right? That was where we first really saw something like that. But now we're starting to see that Bandai actually intends for that to be a core principle, an archetype principle within the game. I want to say this real quick, guys. This will probably be broken down into 2 areas. Number 1 is color identity, and number 2 is like core design, core principles like within the game, however you say that. Like, for example, every color needs card draw in some way, whether it be a searcher or cycle or something like that. Every color needs some form of removal. Every color needs some way to do this, that, and the other. Okay, so hear me out. When I first was doing this one, or when I was redoing this color guide, tempo with green is not really that accurate anymore, in my opinion. Some people might say it is, because I mean, look at the guy we have on the screen right here, Zoro. He can attack and then stand and attack and stand and attack, right? So I mean, that is something. And there's also the restand law. There's red green law, red green. There's the green 5-cost blocker law. The green 5-cost restand law, red green the leader law, and then there's also even red green Luffy, the supernova red green Luffy leader that can stand stuff. So that does directly benefit tempo. But when I was saying tempo here, just being completely upfront and honest with you guys, I was referring more to like how a 7-cost would pop out, a 4-cost would pop out, a 3-cost, where it was like more like board flood. Board flood would be a better example. Okay, but now we're seeing that that's actually something that Bandai wants within like every color. They want every color to have that option, and I do like that. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Blue is all about deck manipulation, like looking at your top 5 cards of your deck and putting them back in the order you want. Drawing cards, milling, that's a big thing. It has its own win condition, its own alternate win condition, and then it can bounce and control stuff like where red can rush into the board to attack characters, and they can also KO based off power. Green can KO based off orientation. If something's rested, you can KO it, or some of the cards can rest characters, so you can attack into them directly and KO them. So you have like a direct form of removal and an indirect form, or a soft removal and a hard removal. Okay, well with blue, they also have that, where they can either bounce a character to hand. That's like soft removal because it does go back to their hand. And then they have hard removal where you bottom deck a card, which is very powerful. Okay, moving on to purple. Purple, whoops, I didn't go far enough. There we go. Purple is the color that manipulates Dawn. Hopefully you guys are seeing a theme, right? Red is power manipulation. Green was status or orientation manipulation. Blue was deck manipulation. Purple is Dawn manipulation. It has to do with ramping and reduction. Okay, it does have some reducing, like with Hydra, that and Hell's Judgment. It had a lot of that early on, like Gamma Knife even, but it has kind of gotten away from that lately, I feel like. But we'll see what happens in the future. We have no idea. But it does have ramp, and the thing about purple is all about like versatility, and I would say like cunning or guile, where it's like, I'm going to have a little bit of every single color built in because I'm losing Dawn to play out a very powerful effect. So purple is very much jack of all trades. And then you have black. Whoops, I didn't get far enough again. There we go. Black has cost manipulation. It has protection or prevention. And it has KO. And then it has combo and recursion. Now, before Thriller Bark and really before CP, Black was very much the color of KO and prevention with cost manipulation, and that was it. That was it. But since then, they have added some trash recursion, and, you know, it's been pretty cool. So when it comes to, like, black, so let me go back to purple. So purple really has, like, hard removal by using Dawn minus effects to remove characters, either bottom decking or KOing. But then it also has soft removal in the form of, like, they can return Dawn to play out a character with Rush and give it Rush. So that seems like a theme that Bandai wants to incorporate, and I think it is good design, where every color has its own form of soft removal and hard removal, okay? Now what it looks like they're trying to do going forward is they want every color to have its own way to flood the board a little bit. We'll talk about that again more in a minute when we get to black. But I do like what they're going for there, because here's what they determined. They don't just want red to be the aggro color, blue to be the control color, or black. Like blue or black to be control, red and green to be aggro, and then purple and yellow to be mid-range. They don't want that. They want every color to have the option to go aggro, mid-range, or control. So that is actually very important to note, and I think they're doing a very good job at that. Now back to the black cards. So obviously black has extremely good hard removal. I mean, KO, trashing, and things like that. But the thing where they have soft removal is that is something I think they're still working on. Like, I would consider this a form of, you guys get a little sneak peek at the Vegapunk list we're going to be running. This is not a list I ran. This was one that did really well in a recent tournament. But hang on a second, guys. This is what I would consider to be soft removal within black. Where, again, it's not quite removal. But it works in that way where it's like, okay, excuse me. It's saying, I don't want to deal with those characters anymore, so literally they can't attack this turn, right? Trash one black navy type card from your hand, and up to 2 of your opponent's cost 4 or less characters cannot attack during your opponent's next turn. So I would consider that soft removal. But another thing it looks like they're doing for black is, let me see, I just want to see if it comes up like this. It doesn't. Let me, what about discard? That kind of gave it away. Okay, anyway, let me just kind of show you Isho. It looks like black's soft removal is kind of also in the form of like what Isho does with discard. But at the same time, like blue has pudding for hand manipulation, purple has Trafalgar Law, black has Isho, red and green don't have anything yet. I don't think yellow does either. But I'm not sure. I don't think that's technically soft removal. It's a little bit different. One thing I think that Bandai needs to do when it comes to soft removal for black is actually what we just saw. What's his name? Smoker. Let me just bring up Smoker. I think this is something they need to incorporate more for black when it comes to soft removal. That's just me personally. Like, for example, they gave... This is like the Boa Hancock effect, right? Like, let me type in 6 and go to blue. They gave that to blue with Boa Hancock, but I actually think this probably should have been a black effect, or even potentially a green effect. Well, no, I like how green locks things down, or rests things, or locks them down. And I think that the stopping, I think they probably messed up a little bit. You guys tell me what y'all think. I think that this effect in particular probably should have been a black effect. And let me see something. Yeah, look at this. Isho's the same way. Until the start of your next turn, up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less cannot attack. I'm not saying it's a bad effect. It's very powerful. But I feel like this should have been more to do with blue's soft removal. Whereas what Boa does, what Isho does, I think this should have been black's version of soft removal, where you can just delay a little bit. Because blue has bottom decking and bouncing, and they're not the same. They're just simply not the same. Anyway, still good stuff here. So now let's go back to the slideshow here. We went off on a tangent for black a little bit there, but bear with me. Now for yellow, yellow has full-on removal. Like we were just looking at full-on removal, right? They have Nami. They have a lot of KO based off life effects as well. Let me just, hang on a second. Let me take blue off. Let's go to yellow. I'm just going to let it load in for a second so we can check these out. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go to is like Kadatsu, Gadatsu KOs based off life, and so does the 9-cost Yamato, and that's very cool. That's very cool. I like that, and I think this is how all of their removal should have been, as opposed to what Nami is. And guys, understand, I'm not a hater. I depend on this card, right? Like, this card is so strong. It is like one of the only cards keeping Red Yellow Sabo in the game right now, like, and at least having some form of you know, chance against a lot of decks. However, at the same time, this card scares me for the future, because they might not choose to print certain kinds of cards because this card exists. And I know that might seem like paranoid, like a paranoia type of thing, but I worry about the same thing when it comes to Gecko. I worry about the same thing when it comes to like cards like Pudding, the blue Pudding card. We've talked about that in the past. I worry about the same thing with cards like Rebecca, the 4-cost Rebecca. Some cards are so powerful that I hope it doesn't hurt anything in the future. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I still love this card, and it at least goes off the trigger idea, and that is another mechanic very distinct to yellow. Now, see, that's another thing, right? Some people might see it as like there's a little bit of bleed over, like why do other colors have a trigger? I think every color needs trigger to some extent. Yellow should probably be the main color for that, and it is. But I think every color should have access to trigger. I think every color should have access to removal. I think every color should have access to card draw. I think that's a big deal. The way that I think they should have dealt with this, I kind of go over it a little. I'm going to talk about it. We're going to go over to one of my other videos real quick. Let's let this this little commercial go through real quick. Okay, skip ad, nice. So we're not going to go through this whole thing, but let me go all the way back to the beginning here. There we go. So again, I will link this in the comment section below. Wait, y'all can't see it like that. That's good. I will link this in the comment section below if you want to check out the full video. It's a 30-minute video. But here's how I kind of was saying that I think they should really focus on establishing color identity while still giving every color access to what they need. And don't pay attention to the top part right now, the aggro control and all that. But look at the stuff under that, because I don't know 100% how I feel about the top part anymore. But look, everything under there, I still feel pretty much the exact same. So red has rush, right? Purple has ramp, blue has mill, black has trash, yellow trigger, green has tempo. Again, that's more to do with attacking multiple times or flooding bodies. That one now is also all over the place. Red has plus power. I was saying red should have plus power. They also have power minus, but I think that's where they kind of messed up a little tiny bit. But I thought purple should have the minus power. Blue should have been able to scry. Black should have the cost manipulation. Yellow, the life manipulation. And then green should have the set as active, rest, and all that. And then what I was saying, this is how I was thinking that like the hard removal should have been back then. And my ideas have changed over time as the game has evolved, because now I see a little more what Bandai's trying to do. So of course, it's good to look back and see how I thought back then and look at how I think now, because I will revamp this with you guys in just a second, but let me go through it real quick. I was saying back then that red should be able to attack active, and I thought that should have been their primary form of removal. And I still stand by that, but I'm okay with the power-based stuff too. I'll talk about that in a second. So, red attacking active. Perfect, I love that. Purple, I thought that they should have like Dawn KO, like in other words, land destruction, like KO and Dawn, like what Magellan does. I think that should have been their direct effect on the opponent. Blue should have had bounce to hand. Black should have had KO. Yellow should have had bounce to life. And green should rest characters to attack into them to KO them. And then lastly down here, okay, I was saying like, red should have like the ways to move Dawn around. Purple with sacking Dawn. Blue with drawing cards. Black with discard. So blue draws, black discards, yellow banishes, and green can like return cards to their hand, like with the law effect where they bounce cards back to their hand. So again, I'm kind of butchering it. I understand this is clumsy, guys. Bear with me. Watch the whole video to see what I thought back then. This was a year ago. Everything has changed for me a little bit, because now let me explain. After seeing the direction that Bandai's been going, the way that I think they should handle it now, and who knows, in a year it might change a little bit again. I think that every one of these colors should have one form, one primary form of hard removal, and one form of soft removal. And then I think every one of these cards should have a way to basically interact with the other colors in case there's a way to have, if there's a dual color leader. Like, in other words, how does purple interact with yellow? Like purple, yellow, croc. What synergy does purple and yellow have? And the answer is not very much, to be honest, right? There's not a whole lot of synergy. However, if they would make more cards, well, I guess, let me say it like this. Purple can help ramp with any color, and yellow adds trigger to any color. I kind of was going off on a tangent there, guys. Let me focus back in. Going forward, I think that all colors should have hard and soft removal, some way to help the other colors out, and then some way to manipulate the board directly. And as long as they establish that and keep to that, and they have one primary theme, like I said with, let's go back to the other one now. Let me go back to the other one. Okay. So here you go. As long as every color has a direct effect in the game that they're manipulating, like power with red, you go to green, status or orientation with green, deck manipulation with blue, cost, with purple, where we zoomed in. Purple's got the dawn manipulation, black has the cost manipulation, and yellow has the lack manipulation. I think as long as they stick to that, I think they are going to be able to make different types of decks for every color. So in other words, I think there can be a aggro yellow deck, aggro blue, aggro whatever. They'll be able to make a mid-range deck for every in-between, and the same thing with, control. Because I do think that is what they're going for. And now that I see the direction they're going, like I said, there's a few things I would revise from that other one we looked at, this video right here that we looked at. There are a few things I would revise now mentally, but I think Bandai is actually doing a pretty good job on it. You guys tell me what y'all think. Are the colors good enough as is, like, to say, like, how do I say this? Does every color have its own identity in a good way, or do you think it should be a little more pronounced? If you think it's in a good way, then that's fine. If you don't, maybe give an explanation like, I don't think that such and such a color has a good enough identity because of these reasons. I mean, you don't have to give reasons if you don't want to, but that's kind of the topic of the day. I don't want to harp on it for too long. But I definitely, if you guys want to know more about that, or if you want to talk more about that, number one, just hop in the Discord, or number two, hop on these videos I have here and say something down there. I still try to read all my comments, guys. It's been getting harder and harder to read all my comments and to keep up with them. But whenever I put out a video, like within the first, I would say the first 5 hours of me putting out a video, I try to answer every single comment that comes in. So that's the best time to get me. And I understand if you're watching this video late, I'm sorry, it is what it is. It's nothing anyone can help, right? It is what it is. Okay, that's about it. So just to summarize, I do want to, because I was a little all over the place. I was a little bit clumsy with this one. But I think that in One Piece, the colors are balanced fairly well. Some people might be rolling their eyes. I'm not saying every card is balanced. I'm saying that color identity is pretty well established with the things I said, red with power and all the way down the line. And I think as long as they give every color a form of removal based on their identity and a way to flood the board based on their identity, then I think at that point, think about it. Every aggro deck can be satisfied, or let me say this, every control deck can be satisfied by using removal that's based around that color. So if I want to make a red control deck, I'll be able to if I have enough power manipulation and ways to KO based off power. And so on and so forth all the way down the line. And with mid-range, if I want to make a mid-range deck, as long as I have enough ways to flood the board, I should be able to do that straight down the line. Aggro gets a little more technical, but it's kind of the same idea as the board flood thing, but it has more to do with how low the characters can go and spread the board wide while drawing cards up in your hand, refilling your hand, and going at them aggressively. But yeah. That's it, guys. Tell me what y'all think. How are the color identities and how do they fit in the archetypes? Do you think that every color can run a control deck, mid-range, aggro? Should every color be able to run a control, mid-range, or aggro list? Okay. The nice thing about One Piece is they have all these different leaders. Oh, that's another thing I should have mentioned. The leader can also directly help what kind of style you're trying to pull off. Like if you're trying to make a purple control deck, well, you might need to run a leader, maybe something like Purple Kaido, You know, if you're trying to make a blue aggro deck, you might need to try to run a leader like Doflamingo. If you're trying to make a green mid-range deck, then you have green Uta. Now, those were kind of easier examples, I think. But what if I want to make a yellow aggro deck? Well, all of a sudden, maybe this new character, this new leader, Nico Robin, coming out with Banish, maybe, or with Arlong, I can really go aggressive with that. You see what I'm saying? So the leader matters a lot. Okay, so all right, I'm done rambling. Hopefully I got that across in a good enough way there. Let's move on. I really want to know what you guys think about it. Is this game balanced? Not balanced, let me not say balanced. That's too subjective. Like, people can feel one way or another about it. How good is the color identity in this game? Does it need more? Do the colors need to be even more unique from each other? Or is there too much bleed over happening where it's like red feels like this color or blue feels like this color or so on? Or is it distinct enough? Okay, all right, let's move on. Now, we got a game here of we got 5 games, of Vegapunk. Y'all bear with me, guys. I'm struggling today a little bit, but my throat's starting to feel a lot better, even though it might not sound like it. I can't wait to be back to normal. Okay, now, we got a game here. We got 5 games of Vegapunk. First up, we have a game versus Purple Luffy. So speed is 2x, volume is off, and here we go, guys. We're good to go. All right. Y'all got me playing Vegapunk, huh? Y'all got me playing Vegapunk. I had a few people ask for this. Pause. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. That's good enough, actually. So, right away, turn 1, playing out Monkey D. Luffy. Anything he plays going forward will be in trouble, and this is a 6,000 power body. I just played a 1-cost, 5-cost, 6,000 power character on turn 1. Your turn. Okay. They pass. My turn. Seems good. I'll swing for 6. I will cheat this card out for 3, or for 1, and I'll play the stage, and I'll stand my Luffy. Your turn. What are they going to do now? They play out a Bon Carré, Mr. 2, Bon Carré Bentham. Don't care at all. And they're going to attack in. We get a trigger for Bonnie. Draw 2, trash 1. And here we go. And by the way, guys, I don't have any problem with Vegapunk. Like, I don't have anything against this leader. It's just funny y'all got me playing this leader because it's not really my favorite. I don't like playing leaders that can't attack, but I'm not saying they're bad. So I went down to 1 life there, so I'm going to play out an Atlas. We're going to swing for 7. He gives me 3k, a 0 cost 3k. We're going to swing for 7 more. It's going to go through. I'm going to pop the Luffy to draw a card. I'm going to stand up my my Lilith, and it's their turn. If they attack into me, they give me a 5 cost 6k. That will not be able to be KO'd by battle. Well, now it will. I was saying because before he had 2 life, I'd go down to 1. Plays out Onami. He's going to swing for 5. He's got 5 Dawn left. I get the Atlas, of course. Gets the Queen. But guys, we're just going to keep attacking. We're just going to keep attacking him. This version of Vegapunk is extremely, extremely aggressive. Okay. Trying to do a little bit of math right now. I have not played this leader very much. I'm going to swing for 5. Let's see if he wants to give me anything here. This was his chance to block. He does. Swing for 6. Gives me a 2k. Swing for 7. Gives me a blocker. We'll take it. We stand up the 5 cost 6k Atlas because it can be KO'd in battle now. I have 1 Dawn left for my... I'm bluffing the event. I don't even have it. That's the search event in my hand for those who might not be aware. They play Lin. They push Ace back to life. Oh, well. Very annoying. So we do a top 5 search here. We get a Lilith. What are we going to do here? We're going to play out the Nami, trashing that card to pop that one. So right here, I think what I should have done is I would just play out the Lin right here. Let's see what happens. Looks like I'm just going to play out the Lilith. Swing 7. I will be able to stand up one of these. They counter out. Play this out. Okay. I think I get a 2k counter here because I already have a shock on top of my life. 5. Nope. I am going to take that. Okay. We do counter out of the 5 there. It might have been a little bit aggressive because otherwise they would just wouldn't attack. But, oh well. Okay. Now, if doing it this way, I had the option to attack another character. They trash your top life card with 6 cost Lin. That card is so good in here. We're swinging for 7. We're swinging for 7. Okay, they have 1 Dawn active. 1K, 2K. Their turn. I can't use my Egghead stage anymore because I have 4 life. Very annoying. Okay. Now everything they attack into, I'm just going to let it go. Go ahead. Attack in. They use Onami. Let's see what happens next. They play out a Queen. Hey, guys, they're trying to crawl back into this game. I don't like that. I don't like that. So I don't think I can play out the Aggros because I think you have to have like 2 or less life or something for his effect. I can't remember. So I think we're just gonna play out the Seraphim here. We'll make it where I made it where the Onami can't attack because it's like, hey, please attack with any of your characters. I dare you. Another option I could have had there was just like to play everything out, just like go board wide there, but oh well. Shaka, okay, swinging for 6. I'm like, is he trying to play Luffy here? So I get the S Snake. So we're gonna probably take this or block. Okay. I don't know why I didn't just take that. Okay, we'll take this one. They'll play out the 10 cost Luffy. Doesn't matter though. He'll get an extra turn. He gets to swing for 7. If I get out of this, I win, and I easily have it. And that will be game. And they left immediately. Let's see if we can see what was in their hand. See? Let me slow down. Okay. I'm going to try and pause it right. Dang, I still couldn't do it. That was at 0.5 speed? Alright, let's see. There it is. Oh, well. Okay, it was like he had some 2Ks. I saw some 2Ks in there, but I don't think it would matter in the end. Okay, next game. That was a good one. Guys, Vegapunk is actually really, really strong. We're going to try it one more time. You ready? Got to use the force for this. Right. It's a 0.5. Oh, I can't do it. I'm too slow, guys. Okay, next game. That was a fun one, though. Okay, so Purple Luffy. Next up is against BLaffy. I remember this game. Guys, you're about to see what the high roll can look like for this deck, especially when you're playing as aggressively as I do. Turn 1 Luffy. I love it, and I'll take it every time. He swings for 8. Thank you very much. Edison plays it out. Draw 2, trash 2. Your turn, or my turn. Okay, swing 5. See what he does. Guys, this is an aggressive start. Turn 2, I'm swinging 5 and 6. Turn 2. That's crazy. You know, without a leader, like without my leader attack. So I play out the Lilith for 3. I play out the Atlas for 1 for the leader effect. I'm at 1 life. I dare you to attack my life. I dare you. He can't. He can't. And I have a 2K and 3 1Ks in hand. Nothing's getting KO'd. Nothing. I trash that guy because I can bring them back later if needed. He plays out a Luffy. I got horrible news for this guy, man. That card is gone. We're going to swing 5. Man, this guy's in so much trouble, guys. Swing 5, swing 5, swing 6, swing 6. And we're going to pop the Luffy. Yeah, play out the Nami, trash the Bonnie, KO, draw a card. We'll add a card to our life. We'll add Shock to life because our board's completely full. And we have a 2K counter in hand. He can't even just KO anything. He has to commit Dawn. He has 6 Dawn left. He'll play out Sanji to pop my Luffy. 7 into 6. That was a mistake. He should have gone 7 into 5. But I just don't think it matters. Yeah, pause. GG. I played that out because, again, I'm still kind of getting used to playing Vegapunk. I don't play very often. But, guys, this is an aggro deck. This is a straight-up aggro deck. So it does kind of go directly with what we were talking about today about each color having its own version of, like, aggro, mid-range, and control. It's like for control, I feel like you got a Nell. Like, Yellow's control deck right now is probably like a Nell. Yellow's mid-range deck is basically Katakuri. And Yellow's control aggro deck is Vegapunk right now. It's perfect. Look at that. Play out. Hang on. I've been yapping this whole time. I know what just happened. Okay. This might be another fast game, guys. Play out the Lilith for 1. A 1 cost 5K that draws a card or does a top 5 search. Swing 5. Pay 1 to play out Luffy. Play out the stage. If you get the stage early, guys, you're sitting pretty. Okay. So swing 5 here. -2 there. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything with that. Get the Edison. Draw 2. Trash 2. I get rid of the Seraphim, the S Snake, and the Frankie. And guys, you'll see what happens. I don't know what they're supposed to do here, to be honest. Swing fives, sixes. Okay. So I play the Lilith out first. Okay. Probably just going to grab the one of these 1Ks that have triggers, because I could play out the Bonnie, or play out the Nami, trash the Bonnie, KO the character, stand up my Luffy. I've got a 1-cost 3K in hand and 2 1Ks. I just don't know what they're supposed to do here. Okay, that's one thing they can do. They'll swing for 7 into 5, but now I am going to get out of that. And they did not even use the ramp effect, so they can't pop my Luffy. They pop the Nami. I guess it's better than nothing. And now what? Right, this situation they're in now is like really, really rough. I do go back up to 2 life here. But I think we're just going to attack. I think we're just going to attack a bunch of times. Sit on like 1 Dawn. Okay, they took that, so we're going to go for 9. So they kept taking hits because, guys, we were swinging for 5 and 6s the entire game. They had nothing left in hand. They had a 0-cost 3K. It looks like they could have gone... Oh, yeah, never mind. That was a 9K attack. And a 5K attack follow-up afterwards. Crazy. Okay, next game. These are some fast games, guys. These are some pretty fast games. Like I said, it's like an aggro deck. Okay, speed is 2x. And this is not my version of the deck. This is the deck that just, I think it won like 2 or 3 weeks ago or something. Okay, not my favorite start, but it's also not a bad start. This Rosinante player, I like what they were doing. They were playing a little bit slow, so you'll kind of see a little bit of lulls in this game, like some lapses in time here where there's not much going on. So I go turn 1, Lilith. I'm trying to look for some cards, top 5 search. Grabbed what I wanted, and now they have they played Baby 5 last turn. It really should just be a 2K counter, guys. Sometimes people get a little too cute with the 2K counters. I don't mean that in a rude way. But it's like, dude, just say the 2K counter. They probably thought I was playing like a normal Vegapunk list. It's like, dude, this new aggro Vegapunk is crazy. It is crazy. Like, good. Crazy good. They play out a Doffy. We're just waiting for them to arrange their top 5 cards. Let's see if they want to attack in. I would like for them to attack in. I would like that. Because, guys, every time you attack into Vegapunk, like I said, with this deck in particular, I think there's like an 80 or 90% chance you're going to get a card from your life. So I swing for 5. I take it. I get Edison. We'll take it. All right. We're going to be able to draw 2, trash 2. We'll trash that. And we got the stage. Very nice. Okay. Just waiting for them to pass the turn. They stand up in a turn for the leader effect. Our turn. We draw Lilith. And here we go. I think it's a little too late to establish the stage. Like, I'd rather put up more tempo, but it's also not a bad thing either. Okay. So they get a card to hand there. They take it. We swing for 5. They take it. That's a bad sign for them if they're taking 5K hits this early. And then we're swinging for 5 more. They give us a 2K counter. Okay. Pay 1. Play out the Luffy. Pop that guy. Play out the Lilith for full cast for 3. Do a top search. We get a Nami, I think. And here we go. I didn't even gain a life. Guys, I didn't gain it. I'm daring this guy to attack into my life. I dare him. I absolutely dare this guy to attack into my life. Because he would have had to swing for 5 and then load up 5 on the Baby 5. Swing for 5, load up 5 on the Baby 5. And it would only be for 6K. Like a 2K counter out. Okay. They're going to use their searcher here. That's 2 Dawn. They don't have this turn. There does come a time, guys, like when it comes to tempo, it depends on the deck you're running and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of factors. But generally speaking, this late in the game, you need to establish a large body. That's not a large body, right? And by the way, pause. Let me go back. Okay, Viola, another 2K counter. This guy has 2 2K counters on the board. He might be a new player. I'm not trying to be mean. Of course, we're always trying to not really criticize the player as much as the plays, right? So when it comes to this situation, they're probably going to trash their Baby 5 at the end of turn, the other 2K counter, to stand 2 Dawn up, so they can use this when opponent attacks effect to rest up to one of your opponent's Dawn. But I'm just going to use all my Dawn in the beginning of the turn, and then they don't get to use it at all, right? So it's trying to get a little too cute with the 2K counters. Those things are way too important, guys. I would save those unless it's like a game-winning play. I would try to save those. They're going to swing for 5 into what? I'm going to save it. Whatever he swings into, I'm going to save it. If he swings at life, I'm going to take it. Okay. Yeah, he's going to swing 5 into Edison. Okay, give him a 2K. Give him an Edison for an Edison. We'll take it. So he trashed the baby 5, stood 2 Dawn up. Well, bad news. It's not going to matter at all, right? We'll play out the, looks like we're going to play out the ace. Then we're probably going to cheat out the Bonnie. Actually, probably not the Bonnie. Well, I guess I still could. Play out the blocker. Yep, swing 5, swing 5, swing 5, swing 7. So hear me out. The Nami would have been cool, but I'm not attacking. It depends on what they do. If I can try to go for lethal, I will. But if they're going to start countering out, then I'll go into the baby 5. Because I'm fine. They're going to be on 7 Dawn next turn. If they want to use 2 Dawn on their 7 Dawn turn, or, well, 1 Dawn, to use that baby 5, be my guest. Be my guest. I don't care. Coming in for 5. They took it. So I'm going to go 5 into 1 here. I'll at least get it off the board since there's no way I can go for lethal. So, and then we'll swing for 7. Their turn. We have a blocker. We have 1 life. And we have 2, 4, 6K counter in hand. So we're in a pretty good spot. Whatever blocker they play next turn, we're just going to KO. We're going to defend our entire board. Look at that X-Drake in their hand. Like last turn, I don't know what... Pause. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know when that guy got the X-Drake, but that is something he should have played last turn to KO one of my characters. But he might have drawn it from life. We don't know. But I would have... Pause. No, hang on. Hang on, guys. I don't care what happened right there. I would take that life. But this turn, that X-Drake would be hitting the field. Because otherwise, how's he going to KO my characters? You see what I mean? So he's on his 7 Dawn turn. So he could swing 7 into my Lilith. I'm probably going to let that... I might let that go at that point. Or block in 2K. But either way, it gets a card out of my hand. Then he plays up with the X-Drake follow-up. And just pops my ace. Or actually, it pops a 4 less, right? I can't remember if it's a 4 or 5 less. I think it's a 4 less. But he could pop my Edison or my Lilith. And that would just make way more sense. Okay, here we go. Let's see what they do. They're in so much trouble right now. Play out Doflamingo. They bounce the Rusher back to my hand, but I don't even know if it'll matter. Okay, swing for 5. We'll counter out of that. I should have blocked, by the way. That was just... This guy was taking a little bit of time, like I said. Sometimes I get impatient on the sim, so that was like a tilt misplay. I should have just blocked with Shaka. But hey, that's where I should have been like, no, guys, I did that on purpose, right? I was trying to get my hand size down so I could draw a card with Nami. Wink, wink, right? No. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I think we should just go for lethal. So I swing for 5 here. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm taking forever. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go for it, but I just don't know how I want to do it. I should have just swung for 9 with the Shaka and then the rest on whatever, actually, hang on, 3, it'd be 9 and 9, so I could have tried to go for 7, 9 or something, or 7, 11, 13, no way, okay, GG, that was a fun one. The end there was kind of agonizing. I do apologize, guys, not the most optimal plays by me, for sure. I should have just, like, gone for 7s. When in doubt, just go 7s, guys, in that kind of situation. Okay, so now we got a game versus Blue Doflamingo. Volume is off, speed is on 2x. This is a pretty good game here, guys. This is a pretty good one. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself for a second, take a sip of my water, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, so what did I miss? The old-fashioned turn 1 play Atlas into turn 2 swing 7 with Atlas, play out Luffy, and pass with 1 Dawn active. So we got a voice crack from like my throat being like this. We've got a very competent opponent here. They did not swing 5 at face because they don't want to give me triggers. This version of the deck, I think, is running like mostly triggers. So that was a very, very good play from him. I still probably would have attacked. That's just me. But I'm not playing as the Doffy. But I do think you should attack a little bit, or you're just letting my hand size go up and up and up. But I do think that was a good call this early on. But starting next turn, I would definitely start attacking. Okay. Let's see what happens here. We're going to swing for 6. We're going to swing for 6. And then I think we're going to play out Lilith and then cheat out another character. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pop the Edward Weevil. Then we will play out the Lilith for 3. We'll get a Nami. We'll use the leader effect to cheat out Seraph S Snake. Now the Jinbei cannot attack. Your turn. My board is very, very strong right now. Now he can attack into my Atlas to KO it because we both have 2 life. However, that's a 6,000 power body. I have a 1 cost 3k in hand. I'm feeling okay. Might even just let it go. We'll see. They play out Boa. They set their top card. Let's see what they got. 7 into 6. Getting a Trafalgar Law. Let's see if they choose to use it or not. They could choose to bounce back their Jinbei to bounce my Lilith. That would be a very good play in my opinion. Let's see if that's what they choose to do. Yep, I think that was the correct play because Jinbei comes out with tempo anyway. Okay, so I use a 1 cost 3k to get out of 7 into 6. Not optimal, but it got the job done. Okay, so right here, let's see what happens. We're going to play out the Shaka here, I believe. I think I should have... Hang on. So, yeah. Pause. I think what I should have done there, instead of playing out the Shaka, I think what I should have done instead was play out a Bonnie. And then I could have, for 1, played out Nami. And Nami could have popped the Boa. And then I could trash, like, I don't know, maybe trash the Edison. Just something. Trash something. Maybe even Lilith, I guess, and keep the 2k counter. And then go about things that way and swing 7s into the Trafalgar Law. But let's see what I do. I play out the Shaka. I'm going to trash this card, the Lilith, to pop the Boa. We draw a card from that. We're going to swing for 6 into 5, I believe, into the character. And then we'll go 7 into 5. Man, this is on 2x speed. Yep, I checked like 3 times. Okay, 6 into 5 here. He'll probably give me a 2k counter. I don't think there's any reason not to. But now I do have 4k counter in hand. Okay, he's really deep in the tank over this. He's trying to make sure he plays optimally. Okay. Counters out. We're going to swing 7 into 5 now. If I could have countered out there, I probably would have. Okay. They play out Sengoku. Let's see what they do next. They're going to have a 7 Dawn left for the turn here. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they decide to do with it. So this, I think if I remember this game correctly, this is probably the Jozu turn. Where it's like, okay, yeah, attach 1, swing 6, there's 7 Dawn, or there's 6 Dawn left active. I'll give them a 1k counter. And they play out Jozu, return their Sengoku, probably bounce the Shaka. Shaka or the Atlas. Either one's fine. Shaka. I think that was probably the best call. Okay. So now we have some options. Bonnie is the #1 option here. But I think I messed up on this turn if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. No, I think this is right. Yep. Attach a Dawn. Play her out for 3. Attach a Dawn. Then I can play out a Shaka to the board. Okay. So I think we're going to swing for 7, 7, 7. So this is going to try to get 6 cards out of their hand. Or they're going to have to draw 2, trash 1. 7k coming in. They give me a 2k, 1k. Or they give me a 2k, 2k. I don't remember. 2k, 1k. Yeah, that pudding's not going to help. Yep, so they trash that. 2k, 1k. So we've gotten 2 cards from them this turn. We've gotten 4 cards from them this turn. And it's going to be 6. Absolutely brutal. That was all to try to make sure that I did not draw 2, trash 1. I don't know if that was the right play. Yeah, at this point, they just have to commit, right? Because otherwise they should have tried to go down to 0 life here. Okay, just waiting on our opponent, 2K and 1K. They had 10 cards at the beginning of this turn. Now they have 4. I established 2 bodies. Their turn. And we have a completely full board right now, guys. Completely full. Okay, how are they going to get back into this? Like my Shaka, I don't care about defending any of these characters. Okay. Let's see what they choose to do. A Gravity Blade Raging Tiger would be massive here. Okay. 8 into 6, you can have it. Probably go 7 into 6. Oh, Teach. Marshall D. Teach here. They're going to put a card from their hand into their deck. They're going to swing for 7, it looks like. Or more. Again, guys, I have 4 attacks coming in next turn. So they have to get rid of one of these. That'll drop me down to 3 attacks. But they might have that, they might have another 4-cost law in hand. There we go. So 9 into 6 here. Okay, you know, you can have it. I can't get out of that one. But it's not over because I still have 2 bodies. They play out a Boa. Okay, well that changes things a little bit. Okay, let's see what they're going to do. They have 1 card in hand. And we saw them go through how many 2K counters last turn? 3 2K counters and 3 1Ks. I'm saying, okay, and I top decked a Nami. Nami, pop your guard. We're going pretty much all in here, guys. I'm going to swing for 6. I'm saying I don't think you have a 2K. I'm basically saying I don't think you have a 2K. We're swinging for 7. This is very risky. Okay, it went through. Swing for 9. GG. This guy was a really good player. And it showed. It showed, right? He was making some really good decisions. Look what would have happened if he attacked into my life. That's a Frankie to the board and a card in my hand. Like, this guy was playing very well. But Vegapunk is actually very, very strong into Doflamingo. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and hop over. First, we're going to check out the deck list I was using. I'm going to show you guys where I got it from. Then we'll check out the actual deck list. Okay. Here it is. So, first place from the Carta Magica tournament. 7 wins, 2 buys. Not sure how that works. I don't know what all that, I don't know how all that works. But this is the list right here. So, author is Narayan. Congrats to this person. Getting first place with Vegapunk is no joke. And look at how aggressive this list is, guys. Every single card in this deck has a trigger, except 4 Lin-Lins and 2 aces. So that's 44 cards in the deck that are triggers. Incredible. Okay. I think I did the math right. You guys tell me. Now, here's that list that we were just looking at. Get rid of this. I just copy-pasted from... for those who are not aware, the site I was just on is called OnePieceTopDecks.com. And if you like a deck list, you come down here. Here's the deck list in text. You just copy it. You can right-click and copy, or you can Control-C. And then you hop over to... Let me clear deck real quick. You hop over to here, and you import the deck from Clipboard. And there it is. This is the deck that I was just running. See, I just say loads, same deck. So real quick, I want to read Pythagoras. Yeah, if you have 2 or less life, summon a 4-cost or lower egghead card from your trash rested. This card's okay. I guess it's kind of like a tie between this and York or something. And I would say this one's technically a little bit better than York. That's just my opinion. I almost kind of like this one better. Excuse me. If I were to make any revisions to this list, guys, I would drop all 3 of these Pythagoras. And I would go up an S-Snake and up an Atlas. And actually, so I'd keep one. So I'd keep one of them. That's it. Well, I don't know. Hang on. Never mind. The thing that makes this card very strong is it has a trigger. If your leader is Vegapunk, play this card. So just kidding. I'd probably go down some other cards in the deck to maybe go up an Atlas and up a Pythagoras, maybe down 2 S-Snakes. But I did like how S-Snake was. It did let me set up a lot of tempo, especially in that Doffy game. But yeah, let me run through the list real quick. We'll talk about it. So 3 Atlas, 4 Edison, 4 Shaka, 3 Pythagoras, 4 Frankie, 4 Luffy, 4 Lilith, 4 Bonnie. This card's incredible. 4 Nami, another incredible card. 3 Snake. I keep wanting to call it Seraphim. 3 Snake, 2 Ace, the 5 cost yellow Ace with Rush. 4 Charlotte Linlin. 2 the man with the world's greatest brain. 3 Please Save Me. I think this one's called I Requires Our Help. And then 2 Egghead Stage. Guys, this deck is an absolute monster. And for anyone who might be, real quick, little side info. If you like the idea of hang on a second. If you like the idea of the 3-color format, you will be able to play a 3-color red, yellow, blue scientist deck very soon in OP10. I know. I'm just saying it's coming very soon. So for those who love Vegapunk, you're going to be able to run a red, yellow, blue scientist deck where your leader combo are these 2 mad scientists. You know what I mean? Really cool stuff there. But anyway, I don't know how we got on that. I will say that the 3-color format was received very well, and I can't wait to put more stuff out on that. Now let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I don't have too much more to talk about. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the 3-color format, by the way, check out my last video. I'll link that in the comment section below. But guys, this list, I absolutely love this way more than the old Vegapunk list. The old Vegapunk list looked roughly like this. Big difference, right? This is like a control list with Charlotte Linlin, Katakuri, Yamato, Rygos. It's like, this is cool, but man, the new one, I call it Vegapunked. Where is that? There we go. I did not think I would enjoy this deck as much as I did. Guys, this new version of Vegapunk, 2 thumbs up. Incredible. Alright, I'm done. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Hope y'all enjoyed. And, big shout out to everybody who supports the channel. All the VV Pirates playmat supporters, thank you guys so much for helping me out. Hope you guys are enjoying your mat. Guys, if anyone out there, if you can't support me financially, I totally get that. But guys, if you're just liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, that's all I need. That's all I need, guys. I really appreciate it. It helps with the algorithm, helps the channel grow. The channel's been growing like crazy lately. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And then over to the patrons, thank you guys so much for helping me out in the ways you do. Trying to keep the channel afloat and trying to keep the dream alive. Thank you guys so much. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put them in the comment section below. And yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.